I'm gonna be completely honest, this video would have been up sooner, but I was watching VTubers. I'm not even gonna lie about that. I was watching other VTubers. Friends and gamers, hello. It's been a minute since we've done a half patch anything for Genshin. Just because a lot of the half patch moments for Genshin recently have just been like reruns. Like we have 2 reruns. We have Neuvillette and we have Kazuha today. But even like the trials, like I don't want to do this right now. I don't. I love both of those characters. Also, Rolling Crossfire started. I wonder, is this an event? Oh, it's a quest. Never mind, we're not doing that today. Because Rolling Crossfire, if it was just like a Blue Door combat, well, I guess Blue Door combat events usually have quests. Rolling Crossfire, if it was an event where I could just like sit here and go through domains like that other combat event from last patch, I think, I would do that like right here, right now. But also those open daily, so who knows? We do have our rerun banners. I think that's really it for the half patch. I do want to see if they got rid of the super secret special banner, which they did. The Dandelion, whatever the heck it was called, I don't know. I'm not going to be pulling personally today just because I do not want either of these characters. I have both of these characters. Instead, I am going to be saving for Arlecchino. That's what that's going towards. Yep. Okay, next order of business. Let's do these trials. I don't think we're gonna be here for that long, quite frankly. I think it's gonna be a very short video. Is it a video that even needed to happen? Probably not. I'm not gonna lie. We are gonna do our trials. I'm gonna skip over the 4 stars for now. I don't really feel any sort of specific way about the 4 stars on this banner. Like, the fact that Barbara's on there, but like also, if you don't have a good healer, maybe Barbara cons could be useful. Xingqiu and Xingqiu cons. I think if you want to pull in either of these character reruns, because I think both Neuvillette and Kazuha are great characters. To this day, Kazuha is still one of my faves. I do think it is worth it to pull, which we'll get into in a second. So I think it's like, in any regard, having Xingqiu on a banner is great. Also because we just had the event last patch with his outfit. So if you've got that outfit and like for some reason didn't have him, now you can have him. I think, do we get him for free somewhere? I don't think so. I'm not entirely sure. Yanfei, I do really like Yanfei, but I haven't used her in a hot minute, like on any team whatsoever. So she's fine. I think you can make some really cracked team comps with her, but like that, you can really say that about any character in Genshin. You can make like insane team comps with like a weird DPS situation. I make jokes about DPS Kokomi, so like, who am I to talk? DPS Barbara is real and she will hurt you. But I do think if you're one of either of these characters, it's worth it to pull just for the possibility of Xingqiu cons. However, I say that with a caveat. I say that if you want either of these characters but don't want Arlecchino, because Arlecchino is drip marketed, she will be in the next patch. So if you don't want her or aren't sure if you want her and are leaning more towards no, but you really want Neuvillette or Kazuha, go for it. But if you are a free-to-play or a low spender, I would just save. I think because my stipulation here, because I already kind of figured I would end up pulling with money for Arlecchino on her banner, even though I haven't spent money in Genshin in a hot minute. I think last time I spent money actually was outfits at the new year. But the main thing here is I like both of these characters. I think they're both very fun, but I want Arlecchino. So if you are also in that boat, low spenders, free to play, or you lost a 50-50 and now you're guaranteed, so you're saving your guarantee. Because I wanted Shiori. I pulled a little bit for Shiori, but I saved my guarantee because I lost a 50-50 to Tignari during Lantern Rite. So I've just been sitting on that 50-50 loss since Lantern Rite. I've been sitting on it because I'm like, this is the perfect opportunity. I can wait. I don't use Geo characters. I can wait for Arlecchino. But let's do these trials really quickly. We're going to start with Kazuha. I have Kazuha on my account. If I was going to pull for either character, if like the next patch was all reruns and it was all reruns of characters I did not care for, I would probably pull for a Kazuha Constellation. I'm gonna be honest. Kazuha was one of the first characters I actually kind of spent money on in Genshin. Way back. Like, I'm gonna do this trial just with Kazuha, but if I was gonna pull on either of these banners, I probably would pull for Kazuha cons as opposed to Neuvillette cons. I know that might be a controversial opinion, especially because people don't really use Kazuha in team comps as much anymore, but I do. I actually do in Abyss when I decide to do Abyss. I think you can DPS with Kazuha. I think he's a really good character, and for that reason, like, his squirrel is unmatched. One of the best in the game. I think it's up there with... I have kind of switched him out for Wanderer at this point, But I do think Kazuha is a really good character. If you want Kazuha and don't have him, I would say go for it if you feel like pulling. Because also having Kazuha and Xingqiu is really good. Same thing. I think Yanfei can apply pyro off field, but I don't think she's the best at it. Like, honestly, a Bennett is probably better. A Bennett, even like a Toma. Toma would probably be better because he's a pyro shield. I used to run Kazuha and Toma together all the time. But if you're new to Genshin and you're pulling on these banners, I would recommend Kazuha. I 200% would recommend Kazuha. He's kind of foolproof. When I ran him really heavily as a DPS, he does this thing that I like to call element soup, because he just swishes everything up, mixes it together, and you have element soup on the field, and he does a really good job at taking things out, and I think he's great. I think Kazuha's great. I do have multiple pieces of IRL merch of Kazuha. I am biased. I really like Kazuha. I think he's worth pulling even to this day. I know that might be a hot take, and I don't even use him on my teams that much anymore. I replaced him pretty heavily for Wanderer just because I like how he does combat as a DPS, Swirl DPS better than Kazuha. But I still use Kazuha pretty heavy on supports and Abyss and stuff like that. Or in situations where I can't use Wanderer for whatever reason, like a trial domain, like not a trial domain, but like an event combat domain sort of thing. Yeah, I love Kazuha. I really do. Maybe it's the tragic backstory, but I love this character. And I still think he's a viable unit to this day. That might be a hot take, but I'm gonna say it. Kazuha is a viable swirl unit to this day. Maybe not as heavy on a DPS situation, but he was never meant to be a DPS. He was meant to be like a burst support, burst damage dealer situation. Because he can drop his ult, make that element soup, do a little swirl with his skill, and leave, and go with someone else. I do have to say, I know nothing about Arlecchino's kit at the time of recording this video. Not a single thing. I've been avoiding leaks like they are the plague. However, her being pyro, I'm assuming she'll be a pyro DPS. I think Kazuha, because I used to run Kazuha with Toma very heavily. I think having Kazuha with a character like Arlecchino, if she applies and can continue to apply pyro off field, having Kazuha also be able to work off field for Animo might be pretty good. And I think that might be why they're running him during this patch. Also, he hasn't had a rerun in a hot minute, so they're probably doing a rerun for that reason. But because it's kind of feels out of the blue, we don't really have an Inazuma event that he would fit into. He's just kind of here. I think that he is meant to run really well with Arlecchino or another character we're getting sometime in the future. Soon in the future. And just the soonest character I can think of, and probably anyone else can think of, is Arlecchino. That being said, I'm pretty sure I have ran Kazuha and Neuvillette together, and they actually do work pretty well together as well, because Kazuha can swirl everything up, crowd control, and then you can use Neuvillette pretty easily to take him out. So speaking of Neuvillette, we're gonna trial him now. I don't dislike Neuvillette. I did pull him. It kind of ended up being a haha funny, because if you guys remember when he first dropped, which was not that long ago, which is why I'm very surprised he's being reran. I'm assuming it's more so for events / lore reasons that he's getting a rerun, but I don't think he should have gotten a rerun this early. I think they at least should have waited another patch, maybe rerun him after Arlecchino during the summer event, but they probably already kind of have things planned for summer. And that's also just speculation. I'm assuming that after the next patch why did I want to call it 2.6? Oh my god. That after 4.6, 4.7 will be the summer event, and we'll very shortly after that be going to Natlan. So I don't know why they reran him now. I think that there also is other characters they should have reran, i.e. Alham hasn't gotten a rerun in a hot minute as well. Like a hot minute. It's been a while. I think he has gone longer without a rerun than Kazuha, actually, because if I'm not mistaken, we also got a Kazuha rerun pretty recently. I don't think it was in Fontaine, but I do think it was at the tail end of Sumeru. I'm speculating here. I actually don't remember when the last time we got a Kazuha rerun was, but I know it wasn't that long ago. I don't use Neuvillette as much as one may think. I'm gonna be honest. I know, like, he does his water beam thing. I pulled him as a joke. I did want him, but I pulled him mainly as a joke during his first run, because it was a very short time ago, because people were doing the fidget spinner thing, and I thought it was funny, and so I was like, if I pull him right now, I'm going to buy a fidget spinner and do the thing. I'm gonna do the haha funny fidget spinner thing. The people would set up their phone on a fidget spinner and just have Neuvillette go buck wild, spin around the room like wee, like that kind of. And so I was like, if I pull him right now, like this pull, I'll buy a fidget spinner. And I pulled him right then and there and never bought a fidget spinner. I forgot. I did forget. You know, if there was ever a time to like revive that and do the phone fidget spinner thing, now would be the time. But the reason why I'm not doing it is because I don't know how to get Genshin to run on my phone because it is a huge game and I don't have that much storage. I don't think you can run a game off iCloud, so that is a concern. Nothing against Neuvillette, I just never really finished building him. My Kazuha, like in comparison, is pretty well built. But I mean, because I'm the biggest supporter of if you like a character, especially in Genshin. Star Rail, I feel like it's more, not necessarily worth it, but you kind of have to think about meta more just because there's certain things that you definitely need, like very specific team comps to clear. Don't ask why Toma's on my team right now. Don't ask about this team comp, I was doing domains. I was being a good Genshin player for once and actually doing things. But like my Kazuha right here, level 90. His weapon is level 80, but that's because this is a newer weapon. I actually have switched out his weapon more recently. This is an event weapon. Obviously, he has 2-piece Noblesse, 2-piece Viridescent. I haven't changed his artifact set in a while. The reason why he's running this artifact set is because all these were like free Noblesse pieces like I got when you like get those free pieces as part of leveling up in Genshin, but they all had really good stats for, I need to fix this feather, don't look at the feather. They all had pretty good stats for Kazuha, so I just, like, this is an animo damage bonus, so I just put them on him and kept it there. I got really good substats on those pieces, as well as main stats, so I kept those there. I don't have any cons. His talents are all level 10. I triple crowned him. He is the only character on my account that is triple crowned because I'm lazy, but I love Kazuha. I'm very biased. I love this little dude, and I think everyone should pull for him. I'm joking, but I'm the biggest supporter with Genshin of if you like a character, pull for them. If you have the means, pull for them. And if you want to, pull for them. Do it. You can really make just about any character work in Genshin. I'm gonna be honest. You can make just about any character work on a team in Genshin. You could solo the entire game with just about any character if you try hard enough. Would it be difficult? Yeah, but people have done it. People have soloed the game with the Traveler and a Doughblade. People have done lore accurate Genshin runs. It's possible. As for my Neuvillette though, he is only level 70. His weapon is 90. He does have an Eye of Perception level 90. Artifact set I think is fine. I didn't finish building out his artifacts. Talents I have not worked on at all. I think Neuvillette's really cool. I just never finished building him. But I mean, if you really like Neuvillette, pull for him. If you really like Kazuha, pull for him. I really like Kazuha, so if I didn't have him, I probably would have pulled him on a different banner at some point. But yeah. So to answer the question, should you pull for these characters? I think that is like a double-edged sword. Like, pull for them if you really want them, but also if you really want Arlecchino. Like, we know the drip marketed character. The special program for is it 4.6? Or are we in 4.6 right now? What are we on? Hold on. We are in 4.5. We are in 4.5. So if you really want Arlecchino, and you know you want Arlecchino, I know I want Arlecchino, I wouldn't pull for these characters. I think that there is characters that you can swap out. Kazuha, if you don't have another crowd control unit, maybe. But like, there's other characters you can use as DPSs. I don't necessarily think, like, I think Neuvillette's a really good DPS, but if you're not super into like meta and theory crafting and all that, I don't think you really need him. I say that as someone who has him, but I think there's other characters you can make into a DPS, i.e. Kazuha. I've used him as a DPS, and I used him as a DPS for like a year, I think. Like the entire time we were in Inazuma, I used him as a DPS. He's only recently been benched because I built up Wanderer a substantial amount, and I'm like, oh, I really like this gameplay. Wanderer, hello? Because I have run this exact team, even with Toma and Raiden, with Kazuha here instead of Wanderer. I think at the end of the day, it just comes down to personal preference, and do you want Arlecchino in 4.6? Because if that's the case, I would just save your primos. I mean, these characters have been rerun a lot. Neuvillette, considering this is his second time being rerun in Fontaine. It's his first rerun in Fontaine, but it's the second time he's been run in Fontaine alone. And he was only released a couple patches ago. Like, it's been a substantial amount. It's been like maybe 6 months. But still, it hasn't been so, like, it's been longer since we got an Alhaitham rerun, I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna keep bringing up Alhaitham, because that's, like, I know the one character that a lot of people are like, hey, yeah, what gives? Because he wasn't on the extra banner we got during this patch that is no longer here, so it was, like, Dandelion something, I don't even remember. The one with Eula and Albedo, like, I think it's been just about the same amount of time since Albedo and Alhaitham had reruns, but there was another stipulation with that banner where they had to have been rerun a certain amount of times off that like extraneous Dandelion banner before they could be rerun on that banner. And Alhaitham had not hit that number yet. I only think he'd had 2 reruns, whereas I think all the other characters, and I'm pretty sure the stipulation for being on that banner was if you'd had 3 or more reruns at that point, you were allowed to be on that banner. Alham, I think, has only been ran 3 times. 2 of those were reruns. So, and that's also, I don't know the specific numbers. I'm kind of like, does that sound right? It sounds right in my brain. So I'm gonna say it. I don't keep track of the banners that closely, quite frankly. We get a lot of banners in these games, guys. I don't keep track of them that closely. But that sounds about right in my brain. So I'm gonna rock with it. And again, I have nothing against Neuvillette. I just think that we didn't need a rerun for him this soon. He was literally released during this patch, or this like group of, he was released during Fontaine. There we go. We're still in Fontaine. We haven't even gotten all the Fontaine characters yet. Clorinde, Sidwin, Arlecchino, the woman, the myth, the legend. I think that might be all of them, but we're still missing Fontaine characters, but we got a rerun of a Fontaine character. And like, granted, I'm pretty sure Clorinde is a 4-star. I think she was drip marketed. Was she? I don't remember. Everything, it's like tunnel vision for Arlecchino. But like, I don't think we've gotten drip marketing for Sidwin. I'm pretty sure. I think she is probably gonna end up being a 4-star as well, but still, there's 4-star Fontaine characters that are crucial to the Archon Quest that have not been ran yet, have not been released, but Neuvillette's getting a rerun. I don't hate Neuvillette. I actually love Neuvillette. I really do, even though I haven't finished building him. The fact that he has been built that much, considering I haven't really been building my characters recently, is enough of a feat. But I don't think he needed a rerun this soon. I'm gonna be honest. Love you, dude. I love ya. I'll finish building you for saying this. I will. I'll finish building you as an apology. But I don't get it. So it's either he's gonna be important lore-wise, maybe he's gonna run really well, like a vaporized team comp with Arlecchino, or like with Clorinde if she was. I feel like Clorinde was drip marketed. I really don't remember if she was drip marketed or not. I feel like these 2 characters are being ran most likely to run with Arlecchino, because everyone's waiting for Arlecchino. I'm pretty sure Hoyoverse is like waiting with bated breath to release her to the masses. Like, this is a big event. This is an event. So I think that these 2 reruns are being ran to run with Arlecchino, just because we know she's Pyro. I know Animo and Pyro is a really good comp because I've run it with Kazuha. So I'm like, there's something going on there that's going to work really well with Kazuha Arlecchino. I know vaporized team comps can also hit pretty well. So I'm like, okay, maybe that's why they're running Neuvillette to do like a double DPS situation, because I'm banking on the fact that Arlecchino is going to be a DPS. And even like Xingqiu, god tier support to this day. Cannot go wrong with a Xingqiu on a team. So I'm like, that makes sense. If you don't have a decent healer, you can get cons on Barbara. That makes sense. Maybe if Yanfei is here in case you lose your 50-50 and need a fired something. I don't know. This is all theory. Every single last bit of this is theory. If you want the character, pull for them. I don't care anymore. The video's over. I'm gonna go look at my Kazuha. There he is. We did not do a single pull in this video, and I wasn't planning on it. Okay, that's the end of the video. I sat here talking for way too long. I should have figured that would happen, though. I should have figured that would happen. We should have just gone full screen face cam and just rocked with it. Anyways, let's look at my Kazuha. Why not? That's it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Was it worth it? Probably not. I'm gonna, it's not even offline work. It's not even offline work because I'm gonna be online editing these videos, doing the first round of because I recorded the Aether Gazer patch video right before this. I mentioned that in that one. Hi, these videos are probably being uploaded back to back. Maybe there's a short in between. I don't know. I'm losing it, guys. I got like 4 hours of sleep last night. I don't even know where I was going. I've lost it entirely. I've lost the plot. I really have. I totally lost the plot. I gotta go do some more computer work. I'm peacing out. If you like this video, make sure to give me a like down below, as well as subscribe for more, so you can see the Arlecchino shenanigans when they do happen. Hit the notification bell, comment. I forgot the rest of my outro. This always happens when I try to be funny and add something. We can't do this anymore. As always, I hope everyone had or is having a super lovely day wherever you are in the world, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye, guys!